It is a system that dates back to 1935 when the nation was reeling from the Great Depression. In August of that year, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the highly controversial Social Security Act into law.
This Social Security measure gives at least some protection to 30 million of our citizens.
In the 80 years since, the plan has grown far more complicated. And what you may not know is that there are a number of decisions you can make that could mean a big difference in how much you end up collecting. A new book titled Get What's Yours details these ins and outs and is aimed at helping you max out your Social Security benefits. One of the co-authors of the book is Laurence Kotlikoff. He's also an economics professor at BU, and he joins me now. Professor Kotlikoff, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So tell me the origin story of this book, because it's a pretty great one.
Well, I'm a friend with Paul Solomon, who's a PBS NewsHour correspondent, economics correspondent, as you well know. And Paul and I play tennis. And when we get tired, we just get to the middle of the court and we start talking. So at that time, Paul was about 65 and his wife's around the same age. And I asked him, what are you going to do about Social Security? And he said, well, don't worry, Larry, I got it all figured out. I'm going to wait till 70. I said, well, how old are you? And he said, what's it matter? You know, and it took me about 5 minutes to get him to tell me his age and his wife's age. And I said, look, Paul, after the tennis, we're going to go have a really good dinner, and you're going to pay for it. And I proceeded to then make him $50,000 within the course of 2 minutes, explain to him free spousal benefits.
What was, so he was getting free spousal benefits from him. What are those?
Yeah. Well, if you're married, or actually if you're divorced after having been married for 10 years, you can reach full retirement age and file just for your spousal benefit. And if your partner has filed, or if you are divorced, you can then collect half of your partner's full retirement benefit for what is now 4 years. So for Paul, that was $12,500 a year.
That's a lot of money. Did he pay for the dinner, by the way?
He paid for the dinner. It was a good dinner. Yeah.
So how does someone like Paul Solomon, who knows a lot about economic matters, how does he end up ignorant of a really important detail like that?
Well, the system is devilishly complicated. It's got 2,728 rules in its handbook.
So I'm sorry, say that number again.
2,728 rules in its handbook. And it has hundreds of thousands of rules in its program operating manual system, which are rules about those rules. So it could not be more complicated.
Is that by design? I mean, did they, in a way, want to dissuade people from collecting everything they could, or am I being too conspiracy-minded there?
I really, it just blows my mind to figure out why this thing got this way and how people could think that they were really helping the country. And this is the basic savings system for everybody. And it's totally user-unfriendly.
All right, I'm going to be selfish here and ask you to give me some free advice while I have you on set.
Sure.
So I'm in my early 40s, I'm married, I have 2 children. What should someone like me be thinking about?
Well, if you were, you could do what Paul did, which is one of you, either you or your wife could reach full retirement age, file for a benefit.
Which is 62, right?
No, it's actually, right now it's 66.
Oh,
for you, it'll be 67.
Okay.
And at 67, you could file for a retirement benefit. If you were the higher earner and your wife was the same age, you would then file, suspend your benefit immediately. So you'd start it, you'd stop it immediately, and then you'd start it up again at 70. This filing, active filing, would allow your wife to collect a full spousal benefit, half of your full retirement benefit. But there are all kinds of people in different situations. For example, if you were 63, let's say today, and your wife is 45 and she's not working because she's taking care of your disabled child, then it might behoove you to start your benefit right away in order to, even at a lower level, because you're starting it early, your retirement benefit. So now you will have filed, but you'll be able, by doing that, you'll be able to let your wife and your child collect benefits on your record, child benefits and a child and care spousal benefit for your wife, even though she's just 45.
I'm going to need to buy well, actually, I have a review copy of the book. I'm going to need to hold on to it because as you describe this, I know you're breaking it down in pretty simple terms, and it's still difficult to wrap my brain around as I sit here listening to you. You have 3 rules, right? 3 extra simple rules for people like me who struggle with this stuff. Break those down for me.
The 3 rules are: be patient, because there's an enormous payoff to waiting, because Social Security, for example, your retirement benefit is 76% higher after inflation at 70 than if you started at 62. there's a lot of benefits to know about. I mentioned a few already. And then the third rule, besides knowing about your benefits and being patient, is to time your benefits, because if you try and take two benefits at once, they'll just give you the larger of the two. So the way to make more money here is to time your benefits. Take one benefit first and let the other benefit grow, and then flip on to that benefit, so one doesn't wipe out the other.
So you really need to have a plan sort of laid out several years in advance of how you're going to do it, the sequence you're going to follow.
Yeah, exactly what you do. Husbands and wives have to do this together, because what the wife can do depends on what the husband does, and vice versa. So it is very complicated on that score. There's lots of gotchas. We have a chapter just on gotchas, 25 gotchas, and there's a chapter on 50 secrets. And I think anybody who knows a lot about Social Security will still be amazed about what they learn in this book.
So you wrote an article, or maybe it was a blog post, although I think maybe both actually, back in 2012, in which you said, I think we have a quote here, that Social Security is desperately broke. There we go, 31% underfunded to be exact. This is not my opinion. This is Social Security's own measure of its unfunded liability, which makes me wonder. I like the idea of planning the way you're describing, but is the Social Security system going to be around when someone like me hits retirement age, or if we have anyone in their 20s watching this show, do they even need to plan for this? Because is it going to be solvent then?
Well, if they're 20, I think they should be buying the book and telling their parents what to do. The system has to be changed at some point. I don't think it's going to be politically feasible to change it for people over 55. But the system is not 31% broke at this point. Detroit, by comparison, was 20% broke in terms of its pensions. It's now 33% broke. So the system's in terrible long-term shape. It's right there in Table 6F1. My co-authors differ. They think the system will get by and things will be okay. I'm trying to be an economist here and look at the actual numbers and look at the long-term liabilities, and they're just terrible.
All right, briefly, one final parting word of advice you might give anyone who's watching. We have the 3 rules, we have the scenarios you described. Anything else?
Well, I think the book does help everybody understand what's involved here. And then there is software. My company has some software that people can use. It's called Maximize My Social Security, and that can help you refine your plan. But getting the general idea is important. This is people's largest investment.
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm still a little bit terrified, but I will try it. Laurence Kotlikoff, thank you.
My pleasure.